there was no other documents with
And
that.
then I'll read you official fence mooring and extracts.
Let me get to it.
Can't actually.
Okay.
But I'll grab it for you.
And also a safety data sheet for them.
It's all in the one.
It's all in one, yeah.
See here on this permit it said you've got to lock up your chooks for 24 hours. So if the chemical's that safe, why do you need to house your chooks?
To stop the chooks from eating it. So
Well, but if the chooks eat it, do they get hurt? Like, does it affect the chooks? So why do you got to lock them up? The only reason Trev has to lock up his chooks because there's no danger if the chooks eat that. They can eat as
No,
much
but
as they
it
want.
says they can't give them the grass clippings as well. Your permit says you can't
So
feed
I'm
them the grass
directing
clippings.
conversation
Can
to
you
Trevor.
ask him why the grass
Well, just
clippings
want to go.
can't be fed?
We'll go through the process. And just have a look at this.
We're not going through the permit because I emailed it to you. I provided you a copy.
You haven't emailed it to me. This is the first time you give it to me now. This was not emailed yesterday, Roger.
Okay.
Can
I
you
believe
can you concede that?
Let him read it, Roger, and then you can say he's read the permit.
Read the permit.
Okay, so the first thing on this permit. How do you ascertain the water use?
As I mentioned, Trevor, and this will be the last time I go into this.
This is
I'm
the
here in my
permit that you're
capacity
here.
today
Okay.
to implement the legislative biosecurity program.
So we're trying to make sure you do it legally, Roger.
Yeah,
You've got
I'm
to do
here
it
to
legally. You've got to do
debate
it
the
legally.
legality of it. I'm not here to talk about chemicals.
But
I'm not
minor
here to talk about
use, minor
perception.
use. So
I'm
if
not
you're
here to
breaching,
talk
if
about-
you're breaching your permit, it's a
Trev.
reasonable excuse. Let me talk. Let me talk. You haven't answered my question. You're failing
Trev,
to answer my
you
question.
have sent over 100 pieces of correspondence to the program.
And I still
You've
haven't
made
got an
it-
answer. Does that tell you something?
And that is
Well, I
because
still haven't got an answer. 100 times I've asked the question and I failed to get an answer.
You're in the biosecurity,
Yeah.
you don't have to answer.
Say minor permit, Roger. Like minor use. How's that work? Because we don't want you to get in trouble, do we? We don't want you to do anything unlawful.
Trevor Hold, we're here at 477 Gatness
Listen,
Road.
Roger.
My name is Roger Morris with
You're not letting me
Biosecurity
speak,
Queensland.
Roger. This is
I'm
the
an
Trevor
authorised
Hold
officer
show.
appointed under the Biosecurity Act. This
We
is
haven't
my
finished.
identity
Who
card.
is your decision maker? I haven't seen that identification. What authority by it or what you're here for? What is your authority?
There you go.
What is your authority to be here today, Roger?
Authorised officer under the Biosecurity Queensland.
Who authorised you, Roger?
So I can show you that.
Yeah, please,
His name
please,
happens to, I don't have to. His name happens to be Barry Cooper, senior official with the program. And then beyond that, you got Rachel Kay.
Can you prove that you are authorised? What documentation have you got to
That is
prove?
it. Signatures. It's got
That could be.
numbers.
That could be. What sort of? How can you?
It's not a
How
problem.
can you justify? How can you?
Okay. So I've shown you my ID. You are the occupier of this place.
Who is the
Trevor
decision
Holt.
maker here today? Who is the decision maker?
The decision maker is myself,
Yep.
and above that you can go to Robert Wilson, the manager of compliance. Above that you can go to
But
Marty Manning,
today
Rachel Kay,
in regards
Graham Bolton.
in regards to this treatment and what you're trying to achieve here, who is the decision maker?
So I will be the legal instrument to enable the team to come on, and then we have Joe Parker, our team leader, who's experienced and local in dealing with livestock.
So
and
are you considering informational claim during our conversation today, or is this been preconceived what you're going to do?
I'm going to read you this, and then I'm going to listen to what you might claim as a reasonable excuse.
No, well, we haven't even got to that yet because we haven't had any conversation about the biosecurity plan on my property and how you're going to.
I've asked to see it. You said you don't have it.
Well, you have asked to see it. I need more time than that. You just asked me just then. That's the first time you've heard me ask it.
I mean, can you tell me the stipulations, boot washing, etc.? Is there anything else? Q fever, any other
Yeah,
biosecurity?
well, we've got cows. Everyone that on this property needs to demonstrate either with a stat deck or a medical certificate that they have the key fever shot. I wouldn't want any occupational health and safety risk on this property.
We need to see the vehicles to make sure they're clean to a satisfactory standard.
Yeah. Certification probably is
Well, that's good practice.
So in best faith, of course, we try and adhere to biosecurity management plans. We are the Biosecurity Queensland. However, the legislated biosecurity program does override the individual.
So the safety of
plans.
the workers that are coming onto my property, Q fever is lethal. If they're not injected with Q fever, vaccinated with Q fever, they are at risk, at serious harm and possible death. Roger?
Sure. And
So you're happy.
That's part of our internal.
You're happy. You're happy to. You're happy to.
How ridiculous.
And as I mentioned, Trevor, I'll just read this from the start. If you do give me
No.
90 seconds to get
Just
through
let,
it.
no, well, we haven't got there
Trevor.
yet. We haven't got there yet. We're still
I
trying
know
to
you've
get
got an
through
audience, I know it's your property,
Yeah,
and I know it's
but-
overbearing, but I'm
okay.
going to read through this. Okay, that's the
not-
last chance.
Listen,
So my
Roger.
name is
This
Roger
is
Morris,
Trevor
Fire
Hall. You're not
Security
letting me
Queensland.
speak,
I'm an
Roger.
authorised
Roger,
officer
you're
appointed
not
under
letting
the
me
Fire
speak.
Security Act 2014.
Roger, you're not
This is
letting
my
me
identity
speak.
card, which I've
You're
showed you.
failing to let me speak, Roger. You have not. You have not let me speak. This spiel is not being
speaking to
acknowledged
you.
because you're failing to
Right.
let me speak.
We're treating
You are
properties in the
failing to
area
let me
today,
speak, Roger.
filling the gaps for the
You are
properties
not
that
letting
were
me
missed
speak.
last treatment,
You're
and
not
yours
letting
is
me
one
talk.
of them.
Why is it that you don't
Successfully
want to talk
eradicate fire ants,
and
we must treat
negotiate
100%
this
of the properties
process
within the
properly?
eradication band up to 6 times in a 2-year period.
Roger, how long
We
ago
only
did you
require
treat the other
access to the outside
properties
areas
next
of your
door, Roger?
property. There is no need for us to enter your house or buildings. You
No,
don't need
this
us.
one-
Shush. Shush, you shush, mate. You shush.
Required to
name,
deliver
sorry?
fire ant treatment. We can work with you to answer any questions you may have afterwards, and if possible, find a mutually suitable time to treat your property, which is what we've come to today. As authorised officers of the we do have powers and limits to power to enter these places. Under Section 261 of the Biosecurity Act, authorised officers can enter places without consent to conduct activities under the Biosecurity Program. This includes conducting treatment activities under the National Fire Ant Eradication
I
Program.
wish they'd treat the state land down the road, which might I say
As a
is covered in
courtesy,
fire
we're
ants
asking you
nests.
to consent. It's clear
Covered
that
in
this
fire
is
ants nests. So
happening.
they come here to private property where there's no fire ants,
You're considered trespassing.
but they won't treat state government land. It's a, you know, they're not walking the talk.
This is a part where I'm legally required to warn you that it is an offence under Section 336 of the Act. Instruct myself or any of the staff here in the exercising powers under the Act unless you have a reasonable excuse. The offence carries a maximum penalty of 100 penalty units. A single penalty unit is $160. It's an offence to cause obstruction unless you have a reasonable excuse. I'm also informing you that steps that will be taken today is the team who intend to ready themselves with the SMF Green products to perform boot wash. You're welcome to take great care in crossing out vehicles. And then they would look to enter. We do have 8-metre buffers around any permanent water body, even though you've got some dams in the back. We are willing to give very generous concessions around your house yard and so forth.
The drinking water.
After treatment, you must not water, mow or disturb the treated area for 48 hours. This will increase the effectiveness of the treatment. Under Section 238 of the Act, you must comply with this direction unless you have a reasonable excuse.
There's no
A
climate
maximum
change.
of 50 penalty
That it
units
will
applies
cause
if you fail to
ecosystem
follow a
collapse.
direction. So the next steps would be you're welcome to articulate a specific reasonable excuse
I have a tacit
as to
agreement.
why you
I
want
have, are you listening now?
obstruct.
Are you listening now?
Flies
You've read
or
Pollinators and
pollinators.
I have a tacit agreement with the management of the National Fire Ant Eradication Program that has acknowledged and accepted my reasonable excuse prior and has placed this property on a do not treat list.
There's no such thing. It doesn't exist.
so there's no rights. You're saying?
No, I've got a tacit agreement. There's 3 tacit agreements signed, 3 notices signed, and with as
Yeah, so-
I can provide them if you want.
And obviously myself in this job coming into your property, Trev, I've got nothing against you
No,
personally.
but I've got 3. I've got a tacit agreement
And
already.
I figured you might say similar things, so I checked with the superiors up to the level of Marnie Manning, who you've dealt with
I have it.
previously, and no
Just,
such
just because
no
she
such
says that
agreements
doesn't mean that I can.
is
Do you want to
acknowledged.
see? Do you want
I
to
also
see?
specifically asked
Do you want to see the
to
tacit
read
agreement?
the independent toxicology report regarding your car,
Regardless,
because I thought I'm going to be the one going to speak to Trev about the car. I wanted to know that. I've read it. It does not point any link between the baiting and that unfortunate
they,
incident.
they died of
no.
toxic liver poisoning.
So I've read it.
But anyway, but listen. I've got a tacit agreement, and whether they acknowledge it or not, I can show you to you. And I have a stat deck signed by a JP, and that they have accepted that. They had 3 opportunities. One was dated. The first notice was given to Marnie Manning, who didn't reply on the 24th of December 2024. Now, tacit agreement was included with my reasonable excuse, which was provided to her, and we gave her 14 days to respond to that. No response was given. So tacitly, she agreed that my excuse was reasonable and that she would put me on a do not treat zone.
could seek your own
So the
independent
second,
legal advice on that.
and I have, and that's what I'm saying.
But there's nothing
That's what I'm
regarding
saying.
that would stop us
That's
entering.
Why can't you just give Trev the chemical or means to treat his own property?
You'll have to ask that question to more senior.
Haven't you asked
figures.
that, like all these resources when another department?
It's looked into the APVMA permits in terms of the organisational body that is issued the permit.
But he could treat his own property and save all these police resources and stuff. When there's fire ants there, he could treat them.
That's a conversation for not myself, but
But you must admit it's a bit frustrating and a bit ridiculous how Trevor can't treat his own property, and you've got the chemical there where he can treat it with, and he's got a system there that he can treat
this
it with.
chemical just happens to be not commercially available to the public.
Well, you're giving other chemical out to people, aren't they, to treat their own places? You are.
Yeah, so that in the suppression area, not
Yeah.
the eradication area.
Okay. So how far is the suppression area off this area now?
So the eradication area is 5 kilometre width, Jim.
Yeah.
As you know, the tried and tested formula these days for infections and infestations, draw a ring around it, contract the ring inwards.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Trevor, you just have to be situated in the ring.
These properties next door, because we don't want fire ants either, mate. We agree. We want to try and stop. Hang on. The properties next door, when do they get treated? When do these properties next door get treated?
Recently, I'd have to look through the records,
Because-
but without further ado, sorry, Jim.
But listen, you have it.
What I'm going to do is invite the teams on.
You have it. I have got a tax agreement that I agree. Who's going to be, whether that, are you doing that?
I've been instructed we're not accepting what you perceive to be a tacit agreement as any sort of reasonable excuse by this community.
But we've got a tacit agreement in place.
That's for your own perception, and you can seek your own legal advice on that.
Okay, well, we'll challenge that in the
This
court.
wants to work with you, Rob. Why can't we just work this out? Rather, like it's a bad issue of the program to have all these people here. It should be a measurement of the performance of the program, and it is a performance measure where people refuse to be actually incubated enforcement. Why don't we look at doing it on a voluntary basis? What's happened when we need top-down compliance instead of bottom-up? We all want to get rid of fire ants. We just want to work with it.
What's your name, sorry? Sorry, no. I will be. Excuse me. I have not got his ID. I haven't got your ID. I haven't got your ID. And this process is not finished yet.
I'm not answering the question, sir.
Listen, I have not articulated my reasonable excuse. I have been denied due justice here. And this is not being done. I have not. This guy is and I do not know this guy's name. This guy has not identified himself. You have not identified yourself. I haven't got it. I got a pen and a piece of paper. I haven't got it.
My name is Sergeant.
Okay, just stop. Just take a breath. What is the rush? Everyone's getting paid by the hour except me.
We are. And
What-
as
what-
you
yeah, what
so
have been-
Felicity said, the fact that we are here is a waste of taxpayers'
Yeah, okay, well just, this guy's speaking. I haven't got this guy's
Do not
name.
talk over me.
You're
Under the
talking over me.
Biosecurity Act, you are obliged to allow the fire people to come in. Obliged. To know that. My name is Sergeant Felicity.
Okay, just
I am
stop.
from the
Just,
Gatton Police
okay,
Station.
just,
I am not stopping.
well, just let me, just
Over me.
taking too long. I'm not,
Mate, you have been talking to me. I want me to be here.
But
We
listen-
listen to you.
but you haven't, I'm not finished yet. Okay, I'm just trying to write.
I'm telling you.
Just take it slowly.
Any person today
Just take it,
instructs,
take
that
it,
is why we are here.
take it slowly.
Have you
Take
asked
it
for a
slowly.
reasonable excuse?
Yeah.
Have you asked if he has a
That's not my
reasonable
role,
excuse?
sir.
Yeah,
Have you asked
we
if he
haven't,
has a
we
reasonable
haven't
excuse?
finished it.
So the reasonable excuse relates to, so you obstruct, you get fined for obstruct,
Yeah.
and then you have a reasonable excuse for obstructing.
Okay.
It's not a reasonable excuse why we can't
Okay,
use the property.
you need to step back a bit because we haven't gone through the process. This guy here, I don't know what's your name, sir. What's your name?
So his name's Bruce Matt. Give you my name.
Bruce?
Lucky mate, they're all wearing masks, mate. That's supposed to be very
I'm a bit
toxic
slow.
chemical, but they're wearing masks.
I need to.
Why are they wearing masks if it's you know, it's so sad? Why does Trev have to...
Bruce, sorry, Bruce, I haven't got his name. This is, I do know his name. I need to identify myself. This is my well, they need to. It's in the Biosecurity Act. It's in the Biosecurity Act that they must. Why can't it? These guys must identify themselves. Do they? They know that. They know that. Now, please, give me
Instrument. So, Trevor, here's the instrument.
Just give me a copy.
This is Trevor's property right here, people. This is Trevor's property right here. This is bureaucracy in action. This is red tape compliance in action.
Get back.
Trevor's
Please get back.
right to be-
Please get back.
He wants to
Please
get
get back, Roger.
Give us no
Please get back. Listen. I haven't got, listen, by law, I have to give you
Sorry guys, let's go.
What's your name, sorry? Please identify yourself. By law, you have to. No, please identify yourself.
We don't know the names of any of these people. We don't even barely know what their faces look like. We barely know what their
What I'm
faces
saying
look
is
like.
they've got, if they're just pushing past it. I don't read the legislation.
That's your police power. It's not police act 79.
Personally, it's not contravening a requirement of a police officer. This is not a requirement of a police officer. I have advised, no, listen.
People push past it. You don't know to give him a direction. It's not blocking. It's not a thing of PPRA.
Sir, I've been doing this job for 25 years and I'm well aware of what that